Welcome back to another Pokemon What If Wednesday, where every single Wednesday morning I post a video going through last week's investing and collecting questions, where your guys' questions will actually be featured in the video. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be in next week's video. And if I did comment to you saying great question, I might use this and I didn't, please drop that same question again and it'll get moved to the top. I can only do so many per video. And I'm not saying I'm some guru who just knows everything, but when I'm unsure, I always like to talk it out with a few people. It always helps me make my final decision. And we do got to give thanks to our video sponsor today real quick, and that is Punch-Out Gaming. Punch-Out Gaming is my local game store that I go to, and it's the #1 game store in all of Minnesota. I've actually been to them all. Nobody can beat the variety. And you can order right from their site too. They got stuff for everybody. Pokemon, sports cards, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece, Lorcana. They got a ton of sealed Pokemon products, and they have one of the best selections of raw cards that I have seen in the store. Every time I go in there, I always end up leaving with something. So definitely check them out. The links are in the description. And they're only located 30 minutes north of the Twin Cities. So if you're ever in Minnesota, definitely swing on by. But all right, let's get to the video. First question is from Sal3888. What are your thoughts on buying Pokemon Center ETBs instead of booster boxes? Promos like the Charmander from Obsidian Flames are up to 410, but others like the Fluttermane aren't moving. Super good question. I have been loving the Pokemon Center ETBs, and here's the thing. We don't know how good these are going to do. We've never had them before. So we really do not know. But yeah, if you're looking at PSA 10 prices for a lot of these promos, it's pretty solid. We got Miraidon here at 105. We got the Screamtail at about 75. The Iron Thorns, about 135. We got the Snorlax here for 225. And here's the Charmander, just sold for $505. And that's just talking, the actual PSA 10s. The box itself is still doing pretty good. I mean, the box sitting at around $90. There's a $60 box. Obsidian Flames booster box is only at 112. We'll say a good price for that is $90. So, I mean, that's only up $22. I mean, the Obsidian Flames Pokemon Center ETBs technically gained a little more profit than the booster box. Again, it does have one of the best promos out of all of them, if not the best. So, yeah, I do think these are going to do really, really well. Not sure if everyone is going to beat the booster box equivalent, but I do have a feeling there will be quite a few of these Pokemon Center ETBs that do just as good as a booster box, or maybe even a little bit better depending on the promo. The promo is very, very important because like you said, not every single one is going up. But yeah, I love them. I'm definitely going to be investing heavy into them. Like I said, we've never had them before. So great question. Next is from @BobRoss8329. Out of all these, which would you say is the best buy? Metagross, Mew EX promo, or Zapdos EX? With the cheaper cards, I'd probably just buy more copies, not a single. So right away, out of those three, here's the Metagross. I'm going to take him out. Next, we got the Mew promo, which I'm a big fan of, and I feel like is pretty undervalued. Wait till the 151 UPC is a few $100s, and people are going to want this card. This will go up. So I also think the Zapdos EX is pretty undervalued. It is going up a little bit right now, about $42. Again, I could see this card being a $100 card, no problem, like raw. Like, no problem. So it's tough to say. I'd probably go with the Zapdos, to be honest. The Mew is going to take a lot longer, I think. But I feel like the Zapdos could get shot up at any time. So that's what I would go with Zapdos. But again, maybe get the Zapdos and a couple Mew cards, to be honest. The Mew promo is a great buy. Especially if you can get it good condition sealed. Awesome card. Next is from @KevinDillon5772. Sup, Beard Poker. I enjoy everything you do. Thanks. Question for long-term investment. Would you rather have a Gardevoir EX116 or a Roaring Moon in a PSA 10? Let's check that out. I am a huge fan of these secret rares from the Sun and Moon era. I have them all now. They are beautiful. The texture beats anything in Sword and Shield. The gold border. You're getting amazing Pokemon. I think these are extremely undervalued. Last sold 170. 195 your best offer, 180 your best offer, 175. Someone get 275 right here. Again, don't always just buy the grade. You got to look at the card itself. Do not buy PSA 10s if you know deep down it's a 9, unless it's a crazy good deal. Then go for it. And then let's check out the Roaring Moon. Now here's the thing, Roaring Moon probably will not get another card that beats this, so this probably will be the best Roaring Moon card. But again, I don't know. I can see this card coming down in price a little bit with all the new sets coming out. We're going to get some crazy sets to where people are just not going to be buying this card as much. So I can see this card coming down in price a little bit. So I'd probably go Gardevoir. I think you have a lot more time with the Roaring Moon EX. So that's my answer. Next is from @WolfMore85. Hey, love your videos. Thank you. Question: I'm pretty new to collecting. I had a 20-year break. I recently pulled a Radiant Charizard from Crown Zenith. Love the card and found out there are several others. EV, Blastoise, etc. Which are your favorites and what do you think of the Radiant cards in the future? Cheers. Well, I do like the Radiant cards. I think they're kind of cool. I like when they do little gimmicks like this. It just makes the pack opening experience better. If I had to pick my favorite, I think the Radiant Greninja actually has like the best background. Otherwise, I think the Alakazam would probably be my second favorite. That Blastoise is pretty sick. But as you can see, they're so cheap. I do have all of these. I mean, when we're talking market price 30 cents, 40 cents. The good Radiant Greninja, here's the prize pack series, so that one's going to be a lot more, obviously. Even the Gardevoir, 37 cents, so you cannot go wrong picking these up when we're talking that cheap. You never know, they could shoot up to maybe $5 a card or something. That's all you can really hope for. I don't think they'll be that expensive. If anything, I could see the Charizards and like the Blastoise and Venusaur kind of popping off. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be $20, $30, $40 raw cards. They're just so easy to pull. But I appreciate you watching my videos and welcome to the hobby. If you have any more questions, please feel free to drop them down below. And just so you guys know, if you guys do ask a question and answer it, you can ask more. It's not just like a one and done thing. You can ask as many as you want. Pokemon, collecting, myself, it don't matter. Next question is from @BrianFrench6555. When it comes to condition, what do you consider near mint, lightly played, moderately played? How do you define each? Now that's a super tough question because everybody does it differently. And I feel like it's different for vintage and modern, which it shouldn't be. I'm very, very picky though. So if someone says a card's near mint and it doesn't put like near mint / mint, I'm expecting, 1 to maybe 4 little white marks or something like that, like tiny ones. And then if it says mint, I'm not expecting anything. Maybe one little speck, maybe. But we'll take a little peek at some older cards here. So this is the Alakazam card, some of my favorite cards. So now this card they said is near mint. And it does look pretty solid. There's a little damage on the bottom left and then a little bit on the bottom right, but we're talking little specks. So I would agree with that card as being near mint. Next, this card says lightly played plus. So we got a little speck up here on the top. It's kind of tough because they got the white background. I don't like white backgrounds when people take pictures because it's hard to see the whitening. But otherwise, and then on the little bottom right here, so lightly played plus, I would say this is pretty correct for this card. Maybe just lightly played, honestly. But when you have whitening all around the edges, yeah, that's probably definitely considered lightly played. And then here we got a moderately played one, which, I mean, is going to have whitening all over, but no creases or anything like that. Not too bad, to be honest. Like a decent binder card. There's some scratches at the bottom. Yeah, you'd be shocked at how many times I see a card say near mint, and it looks like this. That is not near mint at all. I mean, it could be argued it's lightly played. Like, that's the thing. It's just so tough to tell. I always like to look at the graded versions, even though PSA is not, like, super extremely consistent. All right, next question is from @TrainersArchive. Repeat question. Big fan. I love your content. Thank you. What are your thoughts on the Pokemon Soda Pop plush collection from the Pokemon Center website? Are they a good investment? I bought a few of the more famous Pokemon, but was thinking of waiting to sell them once if they sell it on the Pokemon Center website. Well, yeah, definitely wait to sell them once everything goes out of stock. I'm going to actually get the little Fanfy for my daughter here because it's adorable and I love Fanfy. But I think they're pretty cute. I don't think they'll be worth a ton, but I have seen a lot of plushies double or triple in price. Honestly, the best investment of the year that nobody talked about was the giant Arcanine plush that was on the Pokemon Center website. I was going to buy one, seen that it was in stock, thought about it for a few days. I kind of wanted to get the bigger Lucario one, but that was also sold out and now $800 on the secondary market. And they haven't made this Arcanine in a very, very long time. Sold out the next day. And now I think the cheapest one on eBay is like $1,000 when it was like $450 or something like that. But anytime they come out with a giant plushie of a solid Pokemon, I'm going to buy it from now on. Because first of all, my daughter will love it. And then, if we can keep it nice, it'll actually be worth a good amount. All right, next is from @SwissFN. Probably butchered that. Love the videos, man. Watched every video for weeks now. What do you think about Scarlet and Violet build and battle kits for 12 to 14-year-olds? Will Scarlet and Violet base be good long term? Now, I love Scarlet and Violet base, but when you look at like build and battle boxes, what I always like to do is look at like the most popular version. So here's Evolving Skies. So to sync, the booster box for Evolving Skies is 700, ETBs almost 150, Pokemon Center ETBs like 250, and the build and battle box is only about 85 bucks. So I do think they will do okay, but like I said, it's going to take forever for you to really see some like value from these boxes. So I'd probably spend my money somewhere else if you're, actually trying to make some good money. But, just sitting on a few of them ain't going to hurt you. They're pretty cheap. I have a bunch of build and battle boxes, but I try not to go crazy on them anymore unless they have like very solid promos, or if it's like a super special set like Evolving Skies. So yeah, they'll probably do okay. It's just going to take forever. Next is from @Easy11. Repeat, but on another video of yours. What do you think of the regular tag teams? I like the arts better, and they are all done by Arita. I absolutely love these cards, though. Seriously, I'm also collecting these. I think I have like half of them. They're so cheap, I should just go buy the rest of them, but they're on the list. I think they're going to look so good next to the actual tag team, textured cards. And anything done by Arita is pretty solid in my book. But yeah, there is actually a few of them where I actually do like, this non-textured version more than the textured version. Super good question, though. Nobody ever talks about them. Next is from a member. Pokebeard, you are my go-to tuber for Poke collecting. That means a ton. Thanks for the great content. I'm very new to collecting and was able to get a 151 Charizard SIR back from PSA graded a 10. In your opinion, what is the ceiling on this card? How do cards like this typically do over the long versus short term? Just jumped in on the membership. That really means a lot. So we're going to check the Charizard here. We are on Pokédata. We're checking the all-time of this card. This card was $715 in a PSA 10 on release. And now it is $362. It was $372 in June. Then it started to come down in price to like $340, and now it's back up to almost $370. And I think it'll keep climbing. Charizard's kind of popping off right now. So I do have a feeling this card is going to be probably a $500 card in a couple years. That would be my guess. Maybe long-term, $1,000, because it's the 151 card. Everybody's going to want to complete the set. And honestly, it's not that many cards to get in a PSA 10. I already know multiple people that are trying to complete this entire set in a PSA 10. So I know the fans are probably 50-50 on this card. Say half of them, not the biggest fan. They don't like that he doesn't have a neck, which, I mean, he's short and stubby all over in this card. Of course, his neck's not going to be super long, but I think it looks super cool with the Charmander and Charmeleon. Not my favorite Charizard ever, but still very solid. But I do see a very bright future for this card. It's hard to give like specific numbers, but I could see a world where this could be a $1,000 card in a PSA 10 one day. No idea when. Next is from I'm going to butcher the name, Atri Srianan 7627. Hi Beard, what do you think of the trainer gallery cards on the Sword and Shield era? Do you see them increasing in prices because of the new trainers Pokemon video that was released? Now, I don't know if it'll make them go up, because if the new trainer cards are better than these, I don't think that's going to help these at all. But if they're about equal, I could see some people wanting to come back and collect these to go with that new partner set, because they're probably going to look pretty similar and they would probably look great next to each other in a binder. But with all the new sets coming out, I do feel like the trainer galleries are definitely going to drop a little bit. But I could definitely see in a couple years, especially when these sets get very expensive, the more popular trainer galleries will do decent. People are going to want to come back and collect them, especially Sword and Shield had the most amount of people probably ever in Pokemon collecting at that time during that whole boom. So there's a lot of people that love these cards that I could see coming back in the future to get them. But all right, next is from @GooGug2277. Is it worth picking up PSA 10 Hidden Fates full arts even with the population being so high? I was able to grab a PSA 10 Mewtwo for 80 at Collecticon and felt like it was a steal. Now, I love Hidden Fates. It's the best shiny set. In my opinion, it's like the Evolving Skies of shiny sets. Yes, it doesn't have like alternate arts or illustration rares, which if it did, it would beat Evolving Skies probably. The amount of stacked Pokemon in this set is crazy. Like, we got Evolutions, we got Mewtwo, we got so many amazing Pokemon in here. Gardevoir, Altaria, Ho-Oh, Charizard, Rayquaza, Reshiram. I mean, we got Umbreon, Sylveon, Espeon, Greninja. Like, the set is so ridiculously stacked. It's wild. Articuno. I mean, it's insane. So I'm a big fan. Looks like someone bought one for $104 a Mewtwo. Someone also got one for $84. But yeah, I think this is totally fine to grab these, especially, you know, cards that are under $100 now. I mean, these used to be this price raw. So yeah, I think it's totally okay. This is another set that I would not mind having a master set in a PSA 10, and honestly, pretty doable. I mean, the only card that's expensive really is the Charizard GX. Otherwise, the rest is all around 100 to, I mean, Umbreon's 200. Rayquaza 166 their best offer. But, you know, 99% of them are below $80. So yeah, I'm a big fan. I know a lot of people, you know, never even opened Hidden Fates, but it was so fun to open. Great pull rates, so many awesome baby shinies. And then especially with Paldean Fates doing better than everybody thought, I feel like Hidden Fates is pretty solid. All right, next, we'd love to know your thoughts on the Greninja promo from Shrouded Fable selling for 300 plus in a PSA 10 when it's in a $30 box. Yeah, I've heard this card is a little tough to grade. Last sold $269 our best offer, $207, $255, $202. But look at this sale down here. Where'd it go? 65 bucks. English PSA 10 from Japan. So one bid, super crazy. Another one here at 90, which is wild, because then there's one here at 305, 305, 310, 355. Yeah, I don't know. I almost feel like this card's starting to get a little hyped up, but you never know. There's a lot of sales here in the mid 200s. But look at this. I mean, right here, the seller, KB3777, KB3777, KB3777. Again, there he is. Again. So, wow. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't buy this card for that much. I'd go buy 10 boxes and crack them all and try to get my own before I did that, to be honest. But it is a super, super cool card. I like the Kingdra a little bit more, but a very, very solid card. But all right, next question is from @MarkDeely9760. Do you think it's worth investing in some of the lesser Sword and Shield ETBs for between 30 and 40 euros, or picking up the newer Scarlet and Violet Pokemon Center ETBs for 55? Thank you. Watching all of your videos from the UK. Appreciate that. I'd probably go with the Pokemon Center ETBs if you can, you know, especially the ones with the good promos. But for those good sets for Sword and Shield and you're getting it for a good deal, like I have a bunch of ETBs, like I have a wall of ETBs that I got for all $30. So if I see a regular ETB of a decent set for 30 bucks, I always buy it. I just can't resist. I think ETBs are the best for display. So I still buy them when they're super, super cheap. But again, the Pokemon Center ETBs, we don't know how good they're going to do. I really think they will outshine a lot of other products. But with these stamp promos and, you know, you're getting 11 packs, I'm really, really loving the Pokemon Center ETBs. So I would probably start going a little bit more towards the Pokemon Center ETBs, especially before they sell out. And as you've seen, almost every one is sold out. You know, the only one that you can still get for the same price is the Paradox Rift ones. I feel like the promos, solid promos, but not the most popular Pokemon of the promos. But yeah, definitely stick with the Pokemon Center ETBs, I'd say. Next is from @TheMingler441. Hey Beard, love your vids and Insta. I appreciate that. Overall, it seems like post-COVID, there's a massive rise in Pokemon investing, holding onto sealed products and so forth. Do you think the market for sealed products is oversaturated, or that future demand will be high regardless, especially since ripping boosters is a whole industry now? Yeah, the amount of box breakers there are on Whatnot and Drip and, you know, YouTube and eBay is insane. Like, it is insane. I've even had a couple people hit me up and ask what I had in stock because they wanted to, you know, get good deals of some sealed products to open on their channel. The only thing I would maybe say is it's just going to take a little bit longer for these boxes to go up. That would be my only thing because they are printing more. But as long as Pokemon keeps everybody in Pokemon, like, you know, these awesome sets coming out, pretty solid games, you know, they're trying new things. As long as they can keep that up, which they've been doing that for almost 30 years, well, I'd say there's about a 10-15 year gap where Pokemon wasn't the most popular. I think a lot of sealed products will do super, super well. That's why especially we got to be smart and get the right ones. I feel like a lot of the junk collection boxes are going to be worthless. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff that is not going to move for years. But if we're smart and we get the best products of the best possible sets, then there will be, you know, a future for them. That's why I love stocking up on Crown Zenith. It's such a fun set to open, and wait till 3 to 5 years from now when it's nostalgic and we know the pull rates are solid, and, you know, content creators are going to want to open those up because they know they're going to get good pulls on their channels. You know, that's why I like Crown Zenith so much. Next is from @toploaded JRGS77. Hey Beard, love the content. Question: booster bundles are kind of a newer product and probably the most sought after Pokemon 151 product, but booster boxes aren't available for special sets. How do you see these performing in the future, especially for regular sets that have booster boxes and bundles? Could booster bundles surpass ETBs as a better investment? Super good question. I love booster bundles. I love how small they are. I love how simple they are. Not a bunch of, you know, junk in there. I do think they're going to do great. But again, they're only 6 packs. ETBs, especially now for Scarlet and Violet sets, are 9 packs. So I don't know if they'll ever surpass them for like people to open in the future and stuff like that. You know, when people want to buy them for their channel to open, because they're going to get more packs. But investment wise, I do think the booster bundles could possibly be better just because they're so much cheaper than an ETB. You know, we're talking a 3-pack difference when an ETB is basically double the price of a booster bundle. But again, you can find regular ETBs, even for all the Scarlet and Violet sets, for like 30 to 35 bucks now. So it's getting close. I think they're going to do great, and I think there will be a huge market for them in the future. Not sure if they'll surpass regular ETBs, especially the regular ETBs now with Scarlet and Violet have the promo in them. If we're talking just regular Sword and Shield with the 8 packs, yeah, I could definitely see them giving the ETBs a run for their money. But then again, ETBs are better for display. So it's tough. But yeah, if I had to say a final word on it, I would say booster bundles will be very, very close to ETBs. And you could possibly make more money depending on how much you're paying for your ETBs. You know, like you can get Surging Sparks ETBs on pre-order right now for like $35 or something like that, which, I mean, is not bad at all. And another thing too I hate seeing is when I go to Walmart or Target, I'll see kids or whatever, even grown adults, buy ETBs for like 50 bucks when they're like $35 online. So you always just try to get at the bottom for your best bet. Next is from @SourSpoolie, wondering what the best investment for growth in booster boxes would be between Silver Tempest, Paldea Evolved, or Twilight Masquerade. Being there around 140 right now. Love the videos. Keep it up, man. I really appreciate that. My vote would probably be Silver Tempest just because it's the oldest set. It's about to go out of stock on the Pokemon Center website. We should, no problem, get a reprint of Paldea Evolved and Twilight Masquerade. They're still both relatively new. So I always like to get that older set done with out of the way when we're talking boxes that are all the same price. Especially, we got so many good sets coming up. I could definitely see, you know, Paldea Evolved and Twilight Masquerade coming down in price a little bit. Next is from @V2M549. Do card values from older sets increase when a remake gets released? Example, Team Rocket. Yeah, definitely. Team Rocket's going up. Gym Heroes is going up. Gym Challenge is going up. I'm trying to find a couple cards for those sets in like really mint condition to replace a couple lightly played cards. And it is tough to find right now. Every time I look, you know, the cards are just going up. It's wild. But yeah, it definitely makes people want to go back and collect the vintage, especially, you know, for us older guys who actually collected these cards when they came out. Probably not so much with the newer people, but yeah, I think it gets a lot of the nostalgic stuff building up and you want to go back and collect those OGs. Next is from @DLow1. Was it a mistake to grade my PC modern Pokemon cards to CGC versus PSA? I went off the way the slab looks, but geesh, CGC gets so much hate, laugh out loud. Yeah, I definitely feel like CGC gets a lot of hate. I have probably more CGC graded items than I do PSA because I have a massive comic book collection and almost all of them are graded by CGC. They've been doing that for a very, very long time. And I do think the CGC pristine label looks a little bit better than the PSA 10. But again, you know, I've seen a lot of rough CGC pristine cards. You know, I really wish they'd be super, super strict on their grading like they're supposed to be. And then the basic CGC 10 is kind of just like a 9.5 if you really think about it. Like when I look at that basic CGC 10, that's not a 10 in my eyes. Because, I mean, even the CGC Pristine 10 isn't like a perfect 10. But I do think CGC is growing, so it's not the end of the world if you did invest heavily into CGC or get all your cards graded. It's not the end of the world. I can find hundreds of examples where a Pristine 10 does beat a PSA 10. The card just actually has to be mint in that pristine case. All right, next is from @Timbo_Times. You guys definitely have to go check out Timbo's Pokemon channel. He does a lot of Pokemon Go, and he's local here in Minnesota. We always got to support, our local creators. So definitely go check him out. I heard you recently got into anime. Awesome. What is your favorite anime that you watched so far? Also, I would recommend watching Solo Leveling. A lot of action, great storyline, and only one season. Season 2 coming soon. Yes, me and my wife just got into anime. We watched Attack on Titan, Demon Slayer, One Punch Man, and we're watching My Hero right now. I'd probably have to say Attack on Titans was probably my favorite. The ending got a little weird, but man, the twists and turns in that show, I was shocked. And I'm a little upset with myself for sleeping on anime for so long. I've always been, a big superhero fan, so I love, live action superhero movies and stuff like that and the shows. So that's what I've always obsessed with. Everything fighting, realistic. But man, some of the fight scenes in these shows is wild. Like there was a 3-episode fight scene in Demon Slayer where I was on the edge of my seat. Like it was like I was watching Avengers Infinity War for the first time. It was wild. So if anybody hasn't started watching anime yet, definitely check out Attack on Titans and Demon Slayer, both super easy to get into. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm definitely going to check out the Solo Leveling and any other ones people recommend because yeah, I'm loving it. Next question is from @Kobe Betty. Good morning. Question: better investment 151 Japanese or English 151? That's such a tough question because the Japanese 151 has the Master Balls and they really only have like one product, which is that booster box. So man, it is such a tough one. I just feel like a lot more people collect English consistently than Japanese. Like if you get rid of the last couple years of the whole Japanese boom and you take all of Pokemon, English has beat Japanese almost every single year. So I don't know. I'd probably go a little bit more in English. That'd probably be my final decision. With Japanese literally right behind because it's super, super close. Especially if you can get these booster boxes for, $50, $60, then you cannot go wrong. Next is from @IMerc. I'm shooting for a master set of a base set unlimited holos only. I was thinking of going for an all PSA 7 set that's good condition but not overpriced. What do you think? Smart idea. I love 7s. If you can go 8s, try to do 8s. But again, if you can only afford 7s, not bad at all. Love that idea. I buy 7s all the time. Last question is from @BRADPT. Would love to talk MMA with you. Have you trained any martial arts? Thanks for the content. I boxed for like almost 15 years. Nothing like, professional or anything like that. And then I was in wrestling during school. And then I did some Brazilian jiu-jitsu for a few years. So I've done a little bit of training, not like crazy. I can definitely defend myself. But yeah, I am obsessed with fighting. I watch UFC. Every show I watch has some sort of fighting in it. So it's definitely one of my all-time loves. But all right, that was today's Pokemon What If Wednesday. If you guys have any questions, please drop them down below for a chance to be in next week's video. And if you guys do like this content, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. But all right, I want you guys to have a great morning. We'll see you next time.